Sit down, Sarah. You're hovering. It's making the levels spike, and frankly, it's annoying.
Oh, am I annoying you, Leo? Or am I just occupying space you think belongs to you? You've been barky since we walked into the studio.
I'm not barky. I'm focused. There's a difference. Welcome to the 18-plus adult podcast. We aren't here to play nice today. We're talking about dominance. We're talking about why, despite every civilized bone in your body telling you otherwise, you probably want to be told exactly what to do when the lights go out.
Bold of you to assume I want anything from a man who uses civilized as a weapon. That you aren't entirely wrong. It's the great modern lie, isn't it? We spend all day in boardrooms fighting for equality, demanding a seat at the table, and then we go home and secretly wish someone would just take the lead. Hard.
Take the lead. That's a cute, sterilized way of putting it. Let's call it what it is. Dominance. It's primal. It's the energy that says, I have the resources, I have the strength, and I have the audacity to claim you. And you love it. You hate that you love it, which makes the tension delicious.
It's controversial because it's dangerous, Leo. Dominance in the wrong hands is a disaster. But in a flirting context, it's a drug. There's a specific vibration in the air when a man looks at you. Not like you're a person with feelings, but like you're a prize. It's objectification, sure, but it's high stakes. It's the thrill of the hunt.
Exactly. Every woman says she wants a nice guy who asks permission to breathe, but those guys are the ones sitting in the friend zone cemetery. The guy who gets the keys to the kingdom is the one who assumes he's already invited. It's that edge, that dark, slightly arrogant, I know you want this energy.
Careful, your ego is leaking into the mic. But you're right about the nice guy fallacy. If a man asks, may I please hold your hand? I want to fall asleep. If he just reaches out, grabs my wrist, and pulls me closer without saying a word, my heart rate doubles. It's the confidence to risk rejection that's attractive.
It's more than confidence, it's competence. Dominant energy suggests you can handle the world. If you can handle me, if you can handle the friction of an argument and come out on top without breaking, then I can trust you to protect me. It's evolutionary biology dressed up in a leather jacket and a bad attitude.
So what happens when two dominant energies clash? Because I'm not exactly a wallflower, Leo. You know that better than anyone.
Then it's war. And war is the ultimate foreplay. When you push back, when you try to bite the hand that's holding the leash, it just makes the eventual surrender that much more explosive.
You're assuming I'll surrender.
Oh, you will. You're already leaning toward me. You're trying to dominate this conversation with your independent rhetoric, but your pupils are dilated. You're feeding on the power dynamic as much as I am. You mentioned surrender earlier, Sarah. People hate that word. It's anti-feminist, right? It's regressive. But let's stop lying to the audience for a second. There is a specific psychological high that comes from being overwhelmed by someone you actually respect. It's not about being weak. It's about the relief of finally meeting a force that's stronger than your own will.
You're playing with fire, Leo, but there's a kernel of truth there. Women, especially powerful, successful women, spend all day making every single decision. We lead teams, we manage budgets, we navigate a world that expects us to be the adult in every room. By the time I get to a bedroom, the last thing I want to do is lead. I want to be handled. I want to know if I push, I'm going to hit a brick wall, not a wet noodle.
A wet noodle. That's the nice guy, isn't it? The one who's so afraid of offending you that he becomes invisible. He's so busy checking for consent every 3 seconds that he kills the very desire he's trying to earn. He doesn't realize that for a lot of women, the most intoxicating form of consent is the non-verbal kind. The kind where I look at you and you look at me and I decide for both of us what's about to happen.
It's the Beauty and the Beast complex. It's a tale as old as time for a reason. We don't want the prince who's already a prince. We want the monster. We want the guy who is dangerous to everyone else in the world, but chooses to be not nice, but focused on us. It's the thrill of being the only person who can walk into the lion's den and not get eaten. Or, better yet, getting eaten on your own terms.
That's the narcissism of it, though. You think you're taming the beast. You aren't. The The beast is just letting you believe you have a leash. That's the real dominance. It's allowing the other person enough rope to feel powerful, right up until the moment you snap it back. It's a game of cat and mouse, but in this studio, I think we both know who's got the whiskers.
Oh, please. You love the dark alpha persona, don't you? You think because you have a deep voice and a lack of empathy that you're the one in control. But look at you. You're obsessed with my reaction. You're performing for me. If I got up and walked out of this room right now, you'd be devastated. Who's the dominant one then? The one who stays or the one who has the power to leave?
Try it.
What?
Walk out. The door is right there. If you're in control, stand up and leave. But you won't, because the dark energy we're talking about is a vacuum. It sucks you in. You're addicted to the friction. You like the way I talk down to you, just enough to make your skin flush. You like the fact that I'm not playing the podcast host role. I'm talking to you.
A long pause. The sound of her swallowing is audible. You're a prick, Leo.
But I'm an honest prick. Let's talk about the hypocrisy of the modern woman. You want a man who's a feminist, who cooks, who cleans, who listens to your feelings, but the minute a guy like that shows up, you're bored out of your mind. You start looking for the guy with the dominant energy, the guy who's probably a bit of a disaster because he makes you feel something primal. Why is safe so boring to you?
Because safety doesn't have a pulse. Look, I'll admit it, there was this guy months ago, brilliant, kind, treated me like a porcelain doll. He'd ask if the light was too bright, if I was comfortable, if I wanted a glass of water. I wanted to scream. Then I met someone else at a dive bar. He didn't ask me anything. He just told me what I was going to drink, grabbed my jacket, and told me we were leaving. I should have been insulted. I should have called my friends and told them about this toxic guy. Instead, I was in his car before he even started the engine.
Because he made a decision. Dominance is just the absence of hesitation. While the nice guy is weighing the pros and cons of asking your number, the dominant man has already decided you're his. It's a form of psychological kidnapping that the victim participates in.
Kidnapping? You're really pushing the 18+ label today. But you're right about the hesitation. Hesitation is the ultimate turnoff. It signals that you don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, how can you possibly take me anywhere worth going?
It's about the frame. In every interaction, there's a frame. Either I'm in yours or you're in mine. Most men today are walking around trying to fit into a woman's frame. They're guests in her world. A dominant man forces you to live in his world. He sets the temperature, he sets the tone, and he sets the pace. And once a woman steps into that frame, she can finally stop thinking. That's the secret, isn't it? The surrender isn't about being a slave. It's about the freedom of not having to lead for once.
It's the freedom of being small. In a good way, but it's a double-edged sword, Leo, because when that frame breaks, or when that dominant man turns out to just be an insecure bully, the fall is a long way down.
Then don't let the frame break. And the sound of him leaning even closer, his voice vibrating the mic. You're still sitting there, Sarah. You haven't moved.
I'm just waiting to see what aggressive thing you say next.
Liar. You're waiting to see if I'm going to make you leave or if I'm going to make you stay. Do you feel that? That silence I just held? Most people would have panicked. They would have cracked a joke or asked a question because they can't handle the pressure of being watched without being spoken to. But that silence, that's where the actual flirting happens.
It's a power play. You're trying to see who blinks first. It's suffocating, Leo.
No, it's a vacuum. And what does a vacuum do? It pulls. When I stop talking, I'm inviting you to fill the space. I'm forcing you to look at me and wonder what I'm thinking. That's the command voice people talk about, but they forget about the command silence. If I can control the rhythm of the room, I control you.
You're talking about the physics of it, the tension and the release. It's like a rubber band. You stretch it until it's almost at the breaking point, and that's where the electricity is. If you never stretch it, it's just a limp piece of rubber. But if you snap it, well, someone gets hurt.
Most guys are too afraid of the snap. They want everything to be comfortable. They want to keep the rubber band completely relaxed. But comfortable is the death of desire. I want you to feel a little bit of danger. I want your heart to beat faster because you don't know if I'm going to insult you or kiss you. That's the dominant edge. It's the unpredictability.
It's funny you mentioned the command voice. There's a specific frequency, a resonance that certain men have. It's not about volume. A man can yell and sound like a child throwing a tantrum, but a man who speaks quietly, with total authority, that's the one that makes a woman's knees go weak. It's the sound of someone who doesn't have to prove anything.
Because I'm not asking for your attention. I'm assuming it. When I tell you to do something, not ask, Sarah, but tell, it's a gift. I'm taking the cognitive load off your shoulders. Put your drink down. Look at me. Tell me what you're thinking. It sounds bossy to the outside world, but to the person inside the dynamic, it's an anchor.
Put your drink down. You really can't help yourself, can you? You're practicing on me right now. But let's talk about the eye contact. That's the real physics of it. There's the social look, the friend look, and then there's the other one, the one that feels like you're being pinned against a wall without a hand ever touching you.
It's the predatory stare. It's focused. It's the look that says, I see exactly who you are and I'm going to take what I want. Most men look away when a woman catches them staring. They're embarrassed. A dominant man doesn't look away. He holds it until she is the one who has to break. And when she breaks, she's acknowledging that he's the primary force in the room.
It's exhausting, Leo. Being the prey in that scenario, it's a constant state of high alert. You're forcing me to be hyper-aware of my own body, the way I'm sitting, the way I'm breathing, the way my skin feels. You're pulling me out of my head and into my senses.
That's the point. You spend all day in your head, Sarah. You're a thinker, you're a critic, you're a sharp-tongued intellectual. I'm the only thing in your life that forces you to just feel. I'm the friction. You need that friction to know you're alive. Without it, you're just a ghost in a machine.
And what if I decide to flip the script? What if I use my feminine energy to dominate you? Because dominance isn't just about being a beast, Leo. It's about who has the most influence. I can make you lose your train of thought with a single look. I can make you stumble over your words just by moving a certain way. Is that not dominance?
That's reactive power. It's beautiful, but it's different. You're reacting to the space I've created. You're trying to disrupt my frame. It's a rebellion, and I love a good rebellion. It gives me something to crush.
Crush. You're so violent with your metaphors.
Because sex is a kind of violence, Sarah. Not the bad kind, but the primal kind. It's a collision. It's two people trying to occupy the same space at the same time. If it's not a little bit aggressive, it's just gymnastics. Dominant energy is the catalyst. It's the spark that turns a polite conversation into a fire.
The air in here it's actually getting hard to breathe.
Good. That's the physics working. The pressure is building. We've talked about the psychology, we've talked about the voice, and we've talked about the silence. Now we're at the part where the words start to fail.
You think you've won, don't you? You've spent 40 minutes building this cage of words, trying to prove that I'm just some submissive cliché waiting for a master. You're so high on your own dominant energy that you can't see how pathetic it looks from the outside. It's a mask, Leo. It's a mask for a man who's terrified that if he isn't in control, he doesn't exist.
Is that what you think? That this is a performance? Look at my hands, Sarah. They're steady. Look at yours. You're shaking. You're calling it pathetic because that's the only defense your ego has left. You're terrified of the fact that I've spent this entire time saying exactly what you've been thinking for years.
I am not terrified. I am insulted. I am a grown woman who has built a life, a career, a mind, and you're trying to tell me that all of that is secondary to some primal itch to be conquered? It's a violation of everything I stand for.
Then stand up. Walk out. I told you to do it 10 minutes ago. The mics are live. The 18-plus adult podcast audience is listening. Prove me wrong. Show them that your intellectual independence is stronger than the tension in this room.
Silence. The clock on the wall ticks audibly. I'm staying to finish the show because I'm a professional.
No, you're staying because you want to see what happens when the record light goes off. You're staying because you're hooked on the conflict. You hate me right now. I can see it in your eyes. But God, you've never looked more alive. That's the blurred line, isn't it? The space where I hate you and I want you become the exact same thing.
Trembling with rage. It's toxic. This whole dynamic you're describing. It's what's wrong with the world. It's power for the sake of power. It's making people feel small so you can feel big. How is that attractive? How is that something anyone should want?
Because it's honest. The world out there is full of people pretending they don't have shadows. They pretend they don't have dark desires or incorrect fantasies. We're the only ones in this building being real. I'm dominant because I'm willing to own my shadow, and you're attracted to it because it gives you permission to own yours. You don't have to be the perfect feminist in here, Sarah. You can just be a woman.
And what does just being a woman look like to you, Leo? Is it me shutting up? Is it me letting you have the last word?
It's you admitting that you like the way I'm looking at you right now. It's you admitting that the controversy of this topic isn't out there. It's in your own blood. And now he pauses, his voice dropping an octave, becoming a command. Tell me I'm right.
You're an arrogant, manipulative son of a bitch.
That's not what I asked for. Tell me I'm right about the energy. Tell me you feel it.
I feel it, damn you. I feel every bit of it.
Good. That's the first honest thing you've said all day. Now the audience is wondering if this is where the episode ends. They're wondering if we're going to play a nice little outro track and go our separate ways.
Are we?
And now he's right on her, his lips clearly inches from the mic. The show is over, Sarah, but we're not done. To the listeners, thanks for tuning in to the 18+ Adult Podcast. Hope you enjoyed the view. We're going dark.